Clover was on my reading list for a while now, and I finally got to read it, and I finished it honestly in about a good month or so. And I didn't know what the direction of the story was at first reading it, because we have our cool MC Hayato Masaki and his childhood friends Kenji and Tomoki. They are pretty much the main three we're going to be centered around this story. And we basically follow these three, whether together or separate, through their 3 years of high school. When I read Crows, which is also an OG delinquent manga, there was a theme of being strong and us following Boya defeating all these other gangs and whatnot in groups with his friends and the whole nine. With Clover, this is genuinely just a simple story of Hayato Masaki meeting new people in his return back to Tokyo, fighting bad guys that hurt his friends, and helping them accomplish their goals and dreams. And honestly, I love it because of how it's executed in this story. This goes without saying that the characters without a doubt make this series so enjoyable and fun to read. And of course, this being a delinquent manga, there are a lot of badass and cool moments, especially from Hayato of course, and a couple other characters he fights with. Talking about some of the characters, I have a lot of favorites. One of them being Gengen. He's basically like the right hand man to Hayato whenever they're together, because they both have basically the same energy and goofball personality. What makes him stand out though is his loyalty and strength. Plus, he's drippy as fuck. And I don't want to spoil much in this video, but basically there's a situation where Hayato needs help and calls some people to come to this city and for a big event that's happening that he needs to basically help someone and that he needs backup. And Gen arrives like faster than Hayato, and it's like a simple panel of him just already being there before Hayato even expected him to. It's really wholesome. It's little stuff like that I think works in this manga. You got Maki, who I swear he's a fire character, and anybody in a manga named Maki is gonna be good. I have yet to meet a bad one. He's kind of like a loner type, but when he finds something that he has a passion for, he becomes incredibly engaged, and he's also a badass, of course. He can also be pretty comical as well. Like, he's one of those unintentionally funny characters that's just like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain, but you get it when you actually read it. And the story that's also kind of embedded in the school a little bit when he's there is also pretty interesting as well. And Tomoki and Kenji have their own storylines that honestly are really engaging, because they are, for the most part, slice of life stories, and to pretty much let you know why their stories are different is because you have Hayato's school life and his friends, and then you have pretty much the gang friends, the people that get in all the fights and all that stuff. And with those two, their stories are very slice of lifey, but they're pretty realistic for where they're at. I will say Tetsuhiro pretty much depicts a high school life for people around like the age of 16 to 17 pretty well. So if you happen to be a fan of like motorcycles or any bikes and fishing, you're probably gonna also enjoy this. So if you like both of those, that's a plus. And now I do love this manga and its characters. The only thing, I just wish there was more of an antagonist through the story that I could kind of look forward to. But you get that in literally the last arc. You get that, and there are antagonists kind of littered through, and there are a lot of sick ones, and by sick I mean some of them are pretty sick and twisted, and then you have a lot that are kind of like a misunderstanding type. So it's a little bit of a diversity in terms of how the antagonists are kind of portrayed in this story. But all of them, for the most part, do their job pretty good. And I have to say, especially through the fights, because my god, this series fights as the story progresses get so good that from a narrative standpoint and to a choreography standpoint, it really is one of the standout points of this series. Because honestly, when it comes to a lot of fighting manga, you could probably put this series up against a lot of other like battle or tournament style manga that are purely on fighting. That's how good it is. Because Tetsuhiro as a manga, his art progresses and he gets more refined over time with his certain style that he likes to use, and it's easy to just follow from each kick and punch you can keep up with. He does a really good job of being able to depict something for speed or for chaos. He's nice with it. Even the faces of the characters, if you look at the base of their faces, like just ignoring the accessories and the other features, they have a similar look in terms of what he goes for, but he still makes them all stand out even when their look changes over time, which is another thing I like about this series. It's just everybody's fashion, everybody has a certain look, and for someone like me who appreciates little things like that, I'm a big fan of it, because things like that while you're reading really make it feel like the time has actually passed and things have happened. And with every character's different look, you also see how they progress as a person and how much they change even when it comes to just their demeanor. Hayato is honestly one of my favorite characters. From his character designs, all three of them are fire. His personality, he is very, very entertaining. Like, he doesn't come off as like an annoyance. He literally just comes off as a guy that's trying to just fish. Or if you're messing with him or his friends, do not piss him off, because he's like a whole different being when you do that. Like I said, this series is simple, but the way it's executed, it's done in a way that doesn't insult your intelligence. It doesn't make the characters look overly just simplistic to where it's nothing else to them. They have layers. Like that's the thing with me. I like, you can do simple. You can do something that's simple, but as long as you build upon it, there's nothing wrong with it. If you do something that's simple and you kind of never add to it, it's kind of the same thing over and over again, then you're gonna lose a lot of people. So yeah, Clover is a more delinquent slice of life adventure type anime. If I had to give you the genres, it is 400 chapters, so it's pretty lengthy. But I will say the dialogue and the way the panels are put together, you can honestly knock out a lot of chapters. It's a really fast read. Once you just honestly get to binging it, you can knock out 10 chapters within like a good 10 minutes. Like, that's how quick it is. And also, you know, delinquent manga kind of have a bad rep right now just because of Tokyo Revengers, which, by the way, I am a fan. I was a fan of Tokyo Revengers, I will say. Not really a fan of how it ended, but everything before Shinjuku was really good. Now, I will say though, because this is an Easter egg, if you like the time travel delinquent genre or whatever, and you like the way Tokyo Revengers kind of took those two things and put them together, guess what? Setsuhiro has a new manga out. It has about 5 or 6 chapters as of this recording, called 9 Peaks. If you really want to be interested in it, highly check it out. It's literally time travel delinquent, but instead of it being centered around a romance, it's more so about a son finding out more about his dad that he never got to spend time with after he's already died. So he goes through and kind of just lives with his father as his father was in his prime as a teen and him getting older. It's a really cool and wholesome story. You kind of learn more about the dad, how the main character's kind of emotional change throughout the series when he really gets to understand like how certain things play out with not only his dad but like his city. I highly recommend you check it out if you're interested in something like that. That's the end of this video, and if you enjoyed that, leave a like and comment and subscribe. I have other manga recommendations coming soon, and pretty much my journey through just reading other manga and seeing how I like it and posting it on this channel. And with that, hope y'all have a good day. Make sure y'all take care of yourselves. I'll holler at y'all in the next one. Peace.